Hi everybody, this is Odd Samurai, and today I'm going to be reacting to ReZero Season 4, Episode 11. So yeah, last episode before the big break. I think it's gonna be like around 2 months, but it could be like, or maybe it's 1 month? Actually, okay, I just checked, and it's a little bit more than a month, like I'd say almost a month and 1 week. So it comes back on August 12th. So actually, no, maybe a little less than a month. But yeah, I don't know why we need it, if it's needed at all, but I mean, nothing I can do about it, right? So I just hope we don't get a crazy ass cliffhanger at the end of this episode. But okay, episode 10. Let's talk about it. So the beginning with Emilia's and Subaru's conversation there. It's yeah. For one, I am a little surprised that, you know, this is the first loop that Emilia brings up getting Meili out of the mansion cell when they come back to the mansion, because, you know, even though she did to try and kill everyone there a year ago, she did still help them out through the dunes. And just, you know, Emilia is definitely a forgiving person. So on that regard, I'm not surprised. It's just more so, you know, it just feels very not convenient, but just interesting, I guess, that the loop that is the most focused on Meili, that's when Emilia brings that up. But, you know, I 100% believe that she's being genuine. But I guess, you know, this is the one loop where Amnesiac Subaru has pretended that he doesn't have amnesia, so maybe Emilia would have brought it up had nothing happened. But yeah. Then he lashes out. He says that's stupid. Like, you know, how can you be thinking about the future like this? Yeah, you're getting ahead of yourself. And I think the reason he does this, for one, it's because, well, he's seeing Emilia think about Meili like this, and all the guilt about, you know, he believes that he's the one who killed Meili. So all the guilt about presumably doing it just, you know, comes out full force. And so even though he's mad at himself, he's pushing it outward, trying to project it onto Emilia, as to not feel so overwhelmed by it. But it's also just, I feel like Subaru trying to self-sabotage. Even though, like, him saying that kind of stuff would be very, you know, counterproductive to try to hide Meili's body. Because if it was, I feel like someone who's not Amelia or Beatrice, they would have gotten very suspicious about it. But he just couldn't help it. He tries to put a wall between him and others. But of course, Emilia tries to stop him before he even tries to put up the wall, and sees it for what it truly is, trying to carry something all alone. And yeah, I brought up like season 2 episode 15 last episode, but I think it's also like a small, very small like percentage of how Subaru acted in season 1 episode 13. But instead of getting, Emilia going like, I wish I was the type of person who could just understand you without having to say anything, this time she does, because they've actually had the time and experiences for that to be able to happen. But Subaru had to put in the work and be less selfish and be, less dedicated to being the hero without not having a two-way relationship. Doing it all self-serving. So instead you have Emilia actually having a idea of what he's doing in his mind and doing something about it. Because it also reminds me of how she talked to him in the first episode of season 2, when she's like, I don't know this Ram girl, but if she's important to you, then she's important to me as well, and I want to help you throughout this whole ordeal. So then I think Shaula comes in. Oh no, it was Ram. About a Maylee's book appeared in the library. And so we get Subaru reading the book. Reading, like living vicariously through it. Because this Subaru can't actually read or write in this world's language. Yeah, we basically get her whole deal. And yeah, it's sad how, I feel like she was the most free, living with the Maoist at the beginning, but at the same time, even since then, she was still just imitating what she saw, rather than just doing her own thing. Because she's never been able to just, explore what it is that she wants, what she feels, and all that. Also, when we got to Capella, I was just like, what does she even mean? Why did she pick Maylee? And I think it's because of her abilities, but at the same time, I think she was just interested in Maylee's psychology, but at the same time, like, she did not care one bit about what made Maylee how she was when Elsa picked her up. She's like, oh, no way to grieve, to fight back, or even to live. Really now. Such boring excuses won't work on me. Like, yeah, I really don't care. She literally says that. basically saying like, oh, you think this is bad? I'll show you bad. It's kind of like, a mother basically saying like, I'll give you a reason to cry, and being abusive. And so she turns Meili into all kinds of animals. And I didn't really pick up on that the first time watching. If you say you lost everything, forgot everything, and I'll teach you. Yeah. That's a mother's job. I'll make you into a true empty shell, and then just, build you up from there. But Capella didn't want a daughter. She just wanted a toy to play with, or a pet that she could just stomp and kick and laugh when it came back to her. But actually Elsa says to her, like, don't do what she says. No number of lives you may have would be enough unless you were me. And then we have the narration going, like, hatred, sadness, hate. We see Elsa killing and cutting off the arm of a guy who was stealing from Meili. And it's like, yeah, it's hate, because if it wasn't for Elsa bringing her to this, she wouldn't have to be here. But at the same time, there's the complicated feelings of, well, Elsa is the only thing she had for who knows how many years. Basically, as a sister. And so she clung to her, and she actually did things for Meili's benefit sometimes, though they were, more extreme than most would do, but that's because, and that's the kind of environment they were in. And just Elsa's psychology. But yeah, Meili had very, she didn't fully know how she felt towards Elsa. And even after she died, she didn't even know if she was sad. What is sadness anyway? She's always gone with the flow and lived her life imitating others. She didn't know what real emotions were. Now, with Elsa gone, who would she imitate? And she's like, I wouldn't actually die if Mother told me. And we have Subaru open the door to the cell as light comes through. And it's like Meili's thinking, oh, maybe this is the example I should follow now. And so she goes with him because she wants an answer. She wants to know who she is before she dies. And that, I'm still like, what was she looking in the library? Maybe Elsa's book, because she didn't actually see how she died. So maybe she was hoping that would give her closure, but also seeing just all of Elsa's life would help her realize how she actually feels. But she runs into Subaru, and then she comes back and meets not Subaru. Now, I was saying, like, is this Rui? But then, like, in that other loop, she was Rem? I think so anyway. But, you know, this not Subaru must be within him since he lost his memories. So I think this must be another one of the gluttonies? Lie, maybe? But right now I'm just gonna call him not Subaru. So yeah, not Subaru says, like, you know, don't flirt with me, that's gross. Can you hear what you really want deep in your heart? And I think she really, like, that gets to Meili. The no, don't flirt with me, nobody wants that from you. Because I feel it's something that she picked up from Elsa. Something that, you know, she stole and incorporated as part of her persona. So it's like denying her way of life. One of the people she's imitated. And then Natsuki goes on this whole thing. And, you know, it's basically like, if you know what you want, just say it and go for it. So what did Meili want? I think she wanted someone to follow, you know? Continue the cycle of just basically stealing someone's identity and incorporating it as her own. Because she doesn't know who she is. So that's the easiest and most comfortable to go about it for her. And she, with that, joins in on the number of characters who are having troubles with their identity this arc / season. With Subaru and Julius. And kinda, but not really. Fatsina? Or, you know, Anastasia, I guess. And then we get hallucinations of Meili. And last time I said that, like, it's mostly possible that it's gonna be the gluttonies. But actually, I think it's mostly Subaru's own psychology. And by that I mean, like, Meili, what she says, is what Subaru too is thinking, but is very much scared to admit that that's what he's thinking. And but there also might be, like, maybe half and half, his own internal, you know, issues alongside with being mixed with the book that he read of Meili. Because at some point he uses the personal pronoun Atashi, and I think that's the one Meili uses. So yeah, I feel like there's definitely some, you know, combination of Subaru and Meili there. Sometimes talking for himself, sometimes talking for her. And I didn't understand at first that moment that he has with Shaolan when he's like, because the translation says look for Meili, but he says, you know, Meili o Tanomu, and that's basically like take care of Meili. And so she must have taken it as like get rid of the body, and that's why we don't see it at the end. Shaolan must have moved it or destroyed it. And we're left off with Ram having, actually I don't think she can hear with her divine protection. I don't even know if Subaru knows about her divine protection, even though visually we see him as you know, imagining how she saw it. So, I don't, she didn't actually explicitly said what she thought he did. So maybe Subaru is jumping to conclusions. But I don't know, let's just get on with the episode. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh yeah, she's calling him a fake. Oh, Emilia's eyes? Damn. I mean, she's onto something. But this specific Subaru is not the one. Okay, he's telling them. But will they believe it? Oh, Emilia. Even with all this evidence, Emilia still chooses to put herself between Subaru and Ram. Ah, fuck. Subaru. Switch with Subaru. The cage broke? Like, I can understand Subaru being able to kill Meili. Seriously, what kind of power can Subaru use? Read? What? He can go down from the floor he appeared in? Um, is this even Reed? This could be a fake. What? Oh, Julius. What? Where are these Mavis here? So many too. What? Oh my god, that smile. Oh wow. He fought against his dark desires? What is he doing? He's helping him? Or... Okay. Oh... Oh... Yeah, what happened to get to this point? Oh. We don't know. I think Subaru might have. There it is. Oh! Shola? So the rules got broken at some point. By who? Which one? Oh, oh shit! I. How could we have known it would explode? How much of her body's left? Oh. Mm. Ooh. Sadala? Mm. Oh shit, Emilia didn't die! Okay, so it's been like 5 minutes, I feel. But like I still feel emotionally wrecked. I don't think the discussion this episode is gonna be long at all. Just because it's gonna be really hard for me to describe why this is so powerful to me. But yeah, this is like a like you know, it might be a little quick to say that, but I think this already is a top 3 episode in the series. One of those that really cements, me thinking like, yeah, Subaru feels like personally tailored to me. Like, man, it's like, along with like from Zero in Parent and Child, how it just hits so close to home, I just lose the ability to think and analyze, and I just feel. So I need like a smart discussion, honestly. Yeah, I think that whole month break we're getting, it'll be necessary for me to actually articulate somewhat why this is so amazing, so masterful, so peak. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we reached the pinnacle of Subaru's struggle with fighting the perception of Natsuki Subaru that everyone has in their heads about him, and what Subaru feels like he cannot measure up and compete with. In fact, it is very much in line with Parent and Child, how OG Subaru felt about his dad, and how everyone had expectations of him to live up to that. And this Subaru already came into this world with those that complex, and it only grew tenfold with having to measure up to his own self that has no idea about, and just cannot imagine turning like that. And not to mention trying to marry it with the image he saw of the Subaru killing Meili. All the more reason for him to not understand why so many of these people trust him and believe in him and care for him. But more than that, is because of the way he is in this moment. And we see it with the hallucination of Meili. All the dangerous ways that he tries to take the easy way out. But he's tired of that, and so he goes against that. But because he's so tired of not being enough, of being the guy that always runs away. If I could act, don't you think I'd act out something better than this? Who the hell would want to become Natsuki Subaru? A disgusting creep like this. And that's when the tears started. And they subsided for a while. But they came back with when Emilia showed up. And he couldn't take it. So Satala, the mechanics, well, you know, she couldn't say anything other than I love you. So this is the same version that showed up at the sanctuary, but not at the witch's tea party. And I don't know what to make of the look she had with, you know, that one eye we see. But I think she was, in her own way, trying to comfort Subaru. Like she did at the witch's party. Like, I want you to love yourself. But Subaru decided to stay there. I don't see it as a good thing. I see it as him giving up and choosing death over wanting to try till the very last moment to live. He'd given up hope until Emilia showed up. And honestly, I don't know if there's like a, you know, would it be possible if Emilia saw Satala or vice versa? It would be interesting to see that, but you know, it's not about that right now. Right now I can't even go through, like, you know, most of Emilia and Subaru's scene because I'll start crying again. But Emilia basically retelling season 1 to Subaru from her perspective, because, you know, yeah, to her they met in the loot house, and I'm so glad that this Subaru knows all of this. But, you know, at the very least he understands now why Emilia loves Subaru. That's right. She said she loves him. And I just it's the fact that she actually said it, like, it's almost too much to process. You know, it almost doesn't feel real. And, like, you know, sure, this conversation just gets reset, but Subaru will remember. Just like how Subaru can't remember what she went through with OG Subaru. But it's fine if he doesn't, because she carries it in her soul, and it's enough for her to want to do all this for the person she loves, because she knows that's what Subaru would do. That's what it means for two people to love each other. Oh my god. The way that she kept repeating, you know, what's your name? Until he finally did. She just would not let him keep bad-mouthing himself. because, you know, it's bad mouthing the person she loves. And that's Natsuki Subaru. Oh, and when he's like, oh, wow. So that was your source of strength. Oh my god. And how he can't understand how Subaru would, reach for the stars. Someone who's way out of his league. But he's smiling because he managed it, though. And Amelia loves him back. Oh man. Yeah, he can now say with confidence he's Natsuki Subaru. The man Julius trusted, Beatrice believed in, Echidna forgave, and you, Amelia, hoped for. If his name is Natsuki Subaru, then I'm him. And so he finally has the goal to save them all. Because he finally understands why Natsuki Subaru would just run ahead despite all odds, put himself in bodily harm for all of them. Oh yeah. Oh my god. I'm already turning into a mess again. I could have tried to talk more about like some of the stuff at the beginning with like Reed and Julius, again and Betty, but that's asking too much of me right now. And I wanted to focus more on the big crescendo of the episode. So, but oh my god, Subaru holding on to Amelia and them hugging each other as a stay alive place. Also, Subaru managing to reach and grab onto Amelia's hand really reminded me of the end of the first episode of the series and her first death, reaching out for her. And he declares, even if you forget me, I'll never forget any of you. Which is something that, you know, Oji Subaru had to live with. I'll always know about all of you more. Sorry. I always know about all of you more than you know me. And that's fine. Because Natsuki Subaru, that's the kind of person he is. It wouldn't be him if he didn't try to protect everyone. Despite all his flaws. Despite all the ways he comes up short. He always finds a way to lift everyone up and help them help each other. Help themselves. Because his strength isn't a physical one. It's the way he knows how to make them believe in themselves. So with that, I'm gonna leave this here. So see ya until episode 12.